Hello sweeties! I have 14 of this month's Hella Handmade creation polishes to share with you today. Quick notes before we get started. After I swatch each polish, I'll show it under studio lighting, lower lighting, as well as one coat over black. Let's get started. First up is by Danny Viana, Always Connected, inspired by the Fruit Basket series. Described as a gray jelly base with blue Aurora shimmer. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. The blue Aurora shimmer is seen no matter the lighting, but it does become a bit darker and more glowy in the lower lighting. Always Connected is $14 with a cap of $100. Another from Danny Viana is First Sunrise Together, inspired by Fruit Basket series. Described as a sheer blue base with a sparkling large particle gold to green Aurora shimmer. Shown here in 3 coats. You can see the gold to green Aurora shimmer in the studio lighting, but in the low lighting it becomes much more prominent and the base becomes a bit more of a darker blue as well. First Sunrise Together is $14 with a cap of $100. You can also get both by Danny Viana shades as a duo for $26 with a cap of $100. This is Garden Path Lacquer's I Always Have Something to Say, inspired by Bridgerton dresses. Described as a berry jelly filled with fuchsia holographic microglitters, a strong blue shifting Aurora shimmer, and holographic microflakes. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. It does dry with some texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth glossy finish. The blue shift is very visible no matter the lighting, but it does pop more in the lower lighting, and the fuchsia hollow glitters stand out more as well. I Always Have Something to Say is $13.50 with a cap of $500. Garden Path Lacquers is also releasing a holiday polish through HHC this month with the Return of Light, inspired by the winter solstice. Described as a blue jelly that contains blue to aqua shifting multi-chrome shimmer and silver holographic microglitter. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. Dries with some texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth glossy finish. The aqua of the shift shows up in the studio lighting, but it becomes more prominent in the lower lighting, and you can also see a darker blue and a purpley pink shift too. The Return of Light is $13.50 with a cap of $200. Next up is Hearts and Promises Wipeout, inspired by Dirty Dancing. Described as a deep peach cream with orange, gold, and green Aurora shimmer. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. So I did experience a bit of undissolved pigment in my bottle, but Chrissy informed me that the sale batches won't be like that. Wipeout is $13 with a cap of $300. This is Jen & Berry's Hit Your Tits and Pucker Up, inspired by The Expanse. Described as a black jelly with a pinky purple to gold shifting shimmer, holographic flakes, and subtle aqua sparks. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge, dries with a bit of texture, so top coat is needed for a full glossy finish. You can see the pinkish gold shift no matter the lighting, but it definitely dances more on the nails in the lower lighting, especially the gold. Hit Your Tits and Pucker Up is $13 with a cap of $3.50. Here we have Lynn B Designs Spellbinding Spaghetti, inspired by Tasteful Nudes. Described as a brown-leaning red base with red, orange, and gold multi-chrome shifts. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. Another where the shifts are shown no matter the lighting, but become much more pronounced in the lower lighting. Spellbinding Spaghetti is $13 with a cap of $1.50. Next is Night Owl Lacquers, So That's Where Leaves Come From, inspired by Bob's Burgers. Described as a pruggly yellow-green filled with crystal flakes that shift between red, gold, and green, as well as orange, yellow, and green. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge, dries with texture, so a top coat is needed for a smooth, glossy finish. So That's Where Leaves Come From is $13 with no cap. This is Pampered Polish's Lady and the Vamp, inspired by Halloween. Described as a brick red velvet matte polish with a subtle gold shimmer and a linear holographic effect. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. This is advertised as a matte polish, so it won't have a glossy finish unless you use a glossy top coat. Lady and the Vamp is $13 with no cap. Here we have Hecate by Penelope Luz, inspired by Goddess of Mythology. Described as a dark, deep blue shimmery polish. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge. This one mostly looks the same no matter the lighting, but the blue shimmer does lean a bit more purple in the lower lighting. Hecate is $13 with a cap of 200. Another from Penelope Luz is Goddess of Magic, inspired by Goddess of Mythology, described as an orange magnetic with gold glitter, shown here in 1 coat over Hecate. The magnet used is the arc magnet from Lantern and Wren. You can see both the orange and the gold of the magnetic pole in the studio lighting, but in the lower lighting, the gold very much tries to steal the show. Goddess of Magic is $12 with a cap of 200. Hecate and Goddess of Magic will also be available as a duo for $24 with a cap of 200. Penelope Luz also has a holiday duo this month. First is I Love Christmas, described as a white crelly with red to orange shimmer and hollow flakes, shown here in 3 coats. The red of the shimmer is what's seen in the studio lighting, but the orange shows itself in the lower lighting. And this is Best Holiday, described as a clear base with red and black flakes and gold glitter, shown here in 1 coat over I Love Christmas. Dries with a bit of texture, so a top coat is needed for a full glossy finish. The Penelope Lewis Holiday Duo is $25 with a cap of $200. And last we have Rogue Lacquer's Never Neverland, inspired by Peter Pan. Described as a taupe curly with blue to purple shimmer, hollow flakes, and green glass flakes. Shown here in 2 coats, you may need 3 if you have a longer free edge, dries with some texture so a top coat is needed for a full glossy finish. The blue to purple shimmer is noticeable no matter the lighting, but it does become much more pronounced in the lower lighting, making that taupe base look more like a pale bluish purple. Never Neverland is $13 with no cap. My top pick this month is Garden Path Lacquer's I Always Have Something to Say. I really love the purple to blue shifting shimmer inside that berry pink base, plus the fuchsia micro grillettes really popped within that color combo of the base. And my second and third picks are the Penelope Lewis Hecate and Goddess of Magic Duo. The gold to orange magnetic pole over the super deep dark blue base just was really great combo. What are your favorites this month? Let me know in the comments. All polishes are available October 14th through the 21st at hellahandmadecreations.com. Some of these do have caps, so be sure to set those alarms so you don't miss out. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!